good news coming out of South Carolina. Nikki Haley, the Republican governor, signed a bill today saying that they're going to take the Confederate flag off Capitol grounds. Good job by everyone concerned. You know, Democrats pushed forward, but so did the Republicans in South Carolina. In fact, it was a Republican who started the movement. He's a local legislator there. And then Nikki Haley is a Republican, and she did the right thing, consulted with everybody, and then signed the bill, right? So they're going to take it off of Capitol grounds, and then they're going to put it in a museum. It belongs in a museum. It's part of our history. We're not trying to deny that history. It's not a part of our history we should be particularly proud of. We lost hundreds of thousands of Americans because some states decided to commit treason in order to protect their quote-unquote right to own other human beings and to whip them and to kill them and to rape them. So not a particularly proud part of our history. You don't want to whitewash it away. You put it in a museum and you have a conversation about it, but you don't want to proudly fly it on Capitol grounds. Hey, so I'm giving credit here to the Republicans for doing the right thing. Now, of course, what is going to be the reaction online when they do this? Anger. Republicans reacting to Nikki Haley's signing of that bill with seething anger. If you saw Inside Out, I mean, that is a perfect representation right now of what's going on from Republicans in South Carolina. So online, they respond to Nikki Haley in this way. We'll give you different voters from South Carolina. I've never been so ashamed of my state as I am right now. So ashamed to take down that flag that represented treason and slavery. I can see why you'd be so ashamed. Jim Madsen says, cowardice in the South Carolina governor's office, and thy name is Nikki Haley. Most of the comments revolved around how she was a coward, although in a Republican state that led the rebellion to take down the flag would actually seem to be a little bit brave, especially because she knows she's going to get reaction like this from you people still clinging on to it, but it doesn't matter. Shame, in fact.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay. Now, more. Jessica Hodge Summerlin writes, a sad day in South Carolina because of you, Nikki Haley. SMH, shake my head. Very disrespectful. You know what was a little disrespectful? Slavery. Slightly disrespectful, right? Oh, but the guys who fought and died bravely trying to protect the right to own other human beings, how could you disrespect them? I know. For South Carolina Republicans, the world is upside down. Anyway, they say, I would not vote for you again. Here's Randy Smith. Ever would you have so much courage if you were in your first term? You've done more to divide South Carolina than any single person in our history. To think I wasted my votes on you for the South Carolina House and governor twice. Okay, let's pause there for a second. You've done more to divide South Carolina than any single person in our history. How about the guys in South Carolina that declared that they would split from the Union and then we would have a giant war because of that? Nikki Haley did more to divide us than them. They literally divided the country. And now Nikki Haley is saying, let's not celebrate the fact that they divided the country earlier. So divisive. Okay, now who do you think they're going to start comparing her to? You know how this story goes, right? Here we go. Becky Griffith Leopard. You are good at one thing, I think, and that's disrespecting our Confederate veterans. Sad day in South Carolina. You're reminding me of Obama. Ruining as much as you can while you're in office. I wonder why she reminds her of Obama. Interesting. All right, now we go forward. Because, what a lib thing to do to take the Confederate flag down, plus other reasons. So now we're going to get a little bit more specific. Barbara Mitchell, you are a politically correct, brown, noser, bowing to the ingrates, ignorant, and uneducated. Hard to believe you are even a governor and still be so ignorant of true history. My battle flag will continue to fly. Okay, let's review real quick here. Number one, I've seen this all over the South. I've been in the South 1,000 times. The good parts of the culture I love. So I go there all the time, okay? Now, the other parts are unfortunate. There's bumper stickers are like, oh, liberals, ignorant of history. No, you idiots. You're ignorant of history. Read what every state said as they were rebelling against the United States of America, okay? You're celebrating people who were the greatest traitors this country's ever seen, right? And they said in their statement of treason. We no longer want to be Americans. We want to protect our right to own slaves. They said it. Look into it. You're the ignorant dumbass. Okay? The vice presidency of the Confederacy had a speech called the Cornerstone speech. He said the cornerstone of the South and why we did this rebellion is to protect the institution of slavery. Okay? You want to change history? Too bad. As you would say, sad day, you can't. Point number 2, I will continue to fly my battle flag. Okay, so you're not an American. You're on the side of the Confederacy after all these years, right? So if that's the side you want to be on, that's your battle flag. Okay, now we understand it. You're about as un-American as anybody can ever be. Those are the people that killed hundreds of thousands of Americans because they wanted the right to own other people's right to own other people, period. Okay, now we go to Joe New II. That's a funny name. All right, I've always said, the guy named Jen Kuker, he said, I've always voted Republican and was a major backer of Governor Haley. Just wish I knew then what I know now. Once again, the minority has ruled over the majority without giving us any say-so. Well, first of all, you had a lot of say-so for the last 150 years or so. You had a lot of say-so when the majority was most decidedly ruling over the minority and sometimes lynching the minority. You had a lot of say-so during Jim Crow. You had a lot of say-so during slavery. But now that we take away the last relic that reminds you of the good old days when you had slaves and you betrayed this country, oh my God, the minority is ruling over the majority. And oh, is Nikki Haley an ethnic minority? Oh, what a bonus there. Okay, I'm sure that had nothing to do with any of this. But the overall thing I sensed here is we trusted you to be a team player. Now it turns out, you were brown after all. Okay, I'm sorry, a brown noser after all. And finally, I want to quote Joe again because turns out he was really upset and very eloquent about it. His last words, I think, will ring true for a lot of people. The shit pot has been stirred now, and let's see who has to lick the spoon. What? Okay, I don't know why anybody would even come up with that. like what imagery went through his mind? Like, oh, there's a shit pot, somebody stirred it. Oh, somebody should lick it. I'm going to write that down. Lick the spoon.